Hey guys, my name is Nora Franch, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Good morning, guys. We are reading from A Day at a Time, the reading for July 9th. When we make only superficial changes in ourselves and give only lip service to the program, our progress is slow and the likelihood of relapse is great. Our regeneration must take the form of a true spiritual rebirth. It must go very deep, with each character flaw replaced by a new and positive quality. Am I being completely honest with myself in uncovering the faults that hamper my spiritual growth? Am I beginning to replace them with positive qualities? Today I pray. May my higher power's protective hand lead me out of the darkness of my deepest fear, that I could return to being what I do not want to be. Please, higher power, give me courage to make an honest appraisal of myself. Please help me cultivate my positive qualities and begin to be free of my fears. Today I will remember I must be reborn in the Spirit. 100%. I firmly believe that this was the thing that was keeping me from getting abstinent and from really digging my fingers into recovery. But I also don't think it was all it wasn't like it was my fault. I really believe I wasn't purposely not uncovering things. I didn't know how. And for whatever reason, I wasn't getting there with the big book and the sponsor and my own personal just work through the steps. And so yeah, coaching did that for me because I had someone who was able to say that was self-reliance. That comes from pride. That comes from envy. That comes from just a rejection of the reality of what is. And in a loving way, not beating me up. But quite frankly, it came from the journal that I use, and I'd recommend it to anybody. It's you can find it on Metanoia Catholic's website. It's called the Daily 7 Journal. But I guess it is a promotion for it, but it's not a promotion for it. That honestly was the biggest tool to me uncovering my character defects that I could then take to step 6, 7, through the rest of it, even back to 4 and 5. And I could keep bringing to my sponsor and saying, this came up again. And I could keep going to confession and be like, this came up again. Help me. Because for whatever reason, and I think it was a combination of self-protection of my brain literally just not allowing me to see certain things, and then not having the knowledge to even know what to call things. Knowing this is that thing that you're doing. That really held me up. I was running into a wall in my 12-step journey. And so I really think whoever wrote this whole book is so insightful. And this part where they say it must go very deep, with each character flaw replaced by a new and positive quality. And my Catholic background gives me the verbiage to be able to do that quite easily, just with, replacing a vice with a virtue. And, they get that all the way back from Greek philosophers. I mean, it's rooted in, and not even something Christian, but where Aristotle went on and on about what it was to be virtuous and talking about vice. And so I think it would be helpful to give you guys a list of certain things. So, like, if you notice pride coming up, it can have two different appearances. It can have multiple appearances, but there's vanity, where you're caring very much about how you appear, what other people think of you. And then there's pride, where you think you are more than you are. You're all puffed up. And then there's reverse pride, where you think you're the lowest of the low. And it's funny, those two extremes of thinking you're better than everybody and thinking you're worse than everybody are both pride, because you're refusing to believe that you are one among many, which we hear in program a lot. And humility is the principle or the virtue of step 7. And it is the answer to thinking I am anything that I'm not. And I don't have a solution other than prayer, other than going to my higher power to increase in me that virtue of humility, to make it grow, because I can't do it on my own. I can't give what I don't have. I can't create what I don't know how to do within me. And I can observe other people, but really humility is a change at the heart level, at a belief of who I think I am, or who I know myself to be. And quite in my experience, I can only get that from going to a higher power and asking him to just transform my heart and mind. And my sponsor helps me along the way. She loves me as I am, as I come to her. I am extremely honest with her. And it is the gift of that honesty is that she accepts me like warts and all, right? And she teaches me how to love me. And I think that is my higher power with skin on, that my sponsor is God with skin on so much of the time, accepting me just as I am, knowing that I don't have to pretend or put on a mask, even though, the temptation is still there to appear to be better than I am, or to wallow in, how horrible I am. It's humility. It's humility that's, the root of the program. It's what keeps us in reality. So pride, I guess I'm just focusing on pride because I don't want to get this to go too long, but pride is a rejection of reality. And that is exactly what I think addiction is. It's insanity. It is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It is going to a thing that I keep wanting to fill me, that over and over again has proven that it won't. And I've heard mental wellness described, and I think I've said this before, as the degree to which we are in conformity with reality. That's mental wellness. And addiction, it's a form of mental illness, so it still has a scary stigma, but mental unwellness. We are not well when we're in our addiction. And part of that is because we just, gosh, there's like fire in our veins, rejecting the reality of what is. That I can't handle this substance, that my life is unmanageable, that I keep seeking the answer for my pain in something that cannot and will not give me the answer. And there's that story in the big book about acceptance, and on page 417, there's the statement or the prayer, like acceptance is the answer to all of my problems. And the thing that allows us to accept the reality of what is humility. Humility, that root word of humility is like humus or hummus. It literally means of the ground. So you are grounded in reality when you have humility. And so it's not this binding thing, or not this mentality of like, oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy enough. You're much better than me. It's not that. It's saying, I am this. I am here. And that gives me the freedom to own that and then to move forward. Otherwise, I'm always fighting within myself the reality of who I am and who I want to be. If I accept who I am, then I can stop wasting all this energy. And one of the promises is that we will, I'm going to butcher it, but we'll have more energy. We'll stop wasting energy. And part of that is we waste so much energy in rejecting the reality of who we are and what our addiction is. And so step one, although the principle there is honesty, admitted to ourselves and to another, not that one, admitted we were powerless over fill in the blank and that our lives were unmanageable. That is honesty, but again, that is rooted in humility. And humility is the spiritual thread that weaves itself through every single step of the 12 steps. And I think I've gone on long enough, but it is also that humility that allows us to see our character defects and to not be scandalized by them and not to brush them off because, like, oh, it's not that bad. To simply call them what they are. Like, oh, that's pride. Oh, that's vanity. Oh, there's ungodly self-reliance. Oh, there's envy. Oh, there's laziness, and not to make them mean anything about how good or bad we are, just simply that they're there again. My sponsor likes to say, like, oh, there you are, right on time. And it makes me laugh at myself. And that's the point. The point of the self-reflection and digging deep is not to just like unearth all the horrible things about ourselves. It's to get them out so that we can discard them and ask for help to replace them with something beautiful. So that's enough for today. Until tomorrow, with that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. But more than that, it's important to me to give listeners like yourself a place where you do not need to feel alone on your 12-step journey. And for that reason, I've created a Facebook group. It's called Grateful Blessed Mess. And it's a place where listeners can go to add their own commentary on the share for the day, in addition to my own, and for us just to have a conversation or start a back and forth where people can find support in their 12-step journey. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.